Hello, all, and thank you. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I wanted to talk to you all about, well, first of all, it's been a while since I've been with you, and I apologize about that, but things have been there have been a lot of changes in my own life that I was going through and still am, and took some time off to allow for what I needed to talk about to come to me. Because sometimes we all go through these moments, not moments that could last weeks, days, months, hours, even years, to for something to come to us, for us to get past this point. We have these places on our journey where we almost feel like we're stagnant, when in reality we are not. We are growing. It's just we're not getting the information, or we're not getting what we're looking for at that very moment in time. And that is natural. And I want you guys to know right now that when you go through that, and we all will, to just simply be and allow that natural course to occur for the information to begin to start flowing as it typically does. And that's what I've been experiencing for the past close to a year now. Uh, but I there has been a lot coming out recently, and a lot of negativity. We are seeing a lot of darkness being illuminated around the world currently, and today is February 15th of 2026. And really, you can't escape it. And that could be pretty heavy for people. But I know that my audience, you guys, you all, are light workers, are people here that are here for a purpose, here to do a job, and that is to infuse light into this world and the density at which we feel. And that is actually what I want to talk to you all about, because I do a lot of reading and have been doing a lot of research as of late. And I will share something. When I do reading, I love true crime stories, and I do a lot of reading about them. But it's interesting, the perspective that I take when I do them is a soul's perspective. And this is important because when you are around such density on a regular basis, if you don't take a perspective that is light filled, it could wear on you. It could begin to infuse into your energy, and that is something we need to be very careful of. So anytime I'm in a true crime story or watching it, and I really do uh engage in those types of stories a lot, just because they fascinate me. And again, I take a perspective from the soul. What are souls learning during these particular times? And I enjoy finding light in situations that are or could be considered harmful. However, from the soul's perspective, we are in school, and a lifetime to us, could be however many years we're on this earth. It feels like, or it could feel like, a long time. But on a soul level, we are here for a purpose, for a reason, and that cannot be forgotten. We, especially us as light workers, must remember that we are here for a reason. We are in school, and this earth is our school, because the soul is really what this is all about. It is all about soul. And we must continue to hold that type of perspective in order to keep that light, maintain that light, and understand that this physical is, there's much more to it, as you all know. So that leads me to what this podcast is really all about. And that is the importance of you all, and what you can bring and do bring to this earth cannot be mistaken. We have to continue, in spite of all of this density that is being uncovered and being brought to light, we must maintain our own light and not get wrapped up in the density of everything that is coming out right now. And you guys know the Epstein files and corruption around the world, wars, and you guys know it. And please forgive me for being very general. I don't like to use those terms very much because this is a high vibrational spiritual podcast and my focus is on the light. But I will share those names that I just said so that you guys have a better understanding and I'm not so general of what I'm talking about. But your importance cannot be mistaken and cannot be misunderstood. You are all so very important right now and so very much needed in the sense that the light that you bring to this earth, we cannot absorb all this density that is around us. We must be the light that is shed upon this realm so that the heavenly realm can act through us, can use our energy, our vibration to begin to act through us. And in spite of that, that perceived stagnation for the past year that I have been on, maybe more, it wasn't stagnant. It was legitimate growth, but in a different way. And I apologize. I don't mean to go off on a tangent. However, I wasn't stagnant. I was just acquiring the light that I needed to get to the point that I am at right now. And you guys, as I said, will go through that as well. However, I want to talk to you about a study. And this study represents the importance at which you bring to this earth and how important your light is and needed in this world. And it's called the Maharishi Effect, Maharishi effect. And um, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was a teacher of a meditation practice called transcendental meditation. Transcendental meditation is a very, very easy meditation where you simply repeat a word over. It's a mantra that you repeat over and over again, usually one word or two, but you just repeat it over and over again. You don't have to. It is a focus of the mind, though, and like he says that it's not a focus of the mind, it's just but it is because you're focusing on that mantra. So, there are some things about it that anyway, this is getting off topic. Transcendental meditation is simply mantra-based meditation where you are simply repeating those words, that word or words over and over and over again. However, the study is that if 1% of the population meditates using a transcendental meditation, however, I argue if you use any kind of meditation based in love, that the same effect can be had. And I come from a place of experience where I work with light regularly, where I help transmute energy. And transmuting energy is really what you guys can do here, what this is all about. So the study was done with Maharishi argued that if 1% of the population did a transcendental meditation, either in an area or globally, that you would see a reduction in crime. And there is actually strong evidence this is true. Back in 1993 in Washington, D.C., they did a study and had 1% of the population do these transcendental meditations. Here, you know what? Let me bring this up for you guys. I'm going to share my screen. And that way you guys can see it. Give me 1 second here. Apologize for this, but I want. Here you go. All right, so this is the website that I'm on, this research.miu.edu. Maharishi You guys see that there? So let's go scroll down here. Here we go. Now, this Maharishi effect was put to the test under the careful scrutiny of Distinguished Review Board in 1993 in Washington, D.C. The maximum decrease in violent crimes was 23.3%. So in Washington, Washington, D.C. in 1993. Oh, and look at that. You can't help but to see the reoccurring number here of three, which is a representation of the Trinity of Jesus Christ. Was 23% in violent crime reduction. The statistical probability that this result could reflect a chance variation in crime levels was less than 2 in 1 billion, meaning that this was essentially a decrease in violent crime because of the meditations that were done by the 1% of people that were in Washington doing this meditation. There's only a 2 in 1 billion chance that this was coincidental. So this is astronomical. It's basically, in my opinion, proof that this was effective. And that's not the only study that was done. There have been many, over 500 peer-reviewed studies that have been done on this Maharishi effect and its potential in reducing crime around the world. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. We must rise above the density at which we feel in this world, or which we see, I should say. Feel, see, and understand the importance of our vibration and our meditation practices. Now, so many people come to me regularly and say to me, I can't meditate. And I will argue that you can. Now, when you are dealing with density and you're trying to transmute energy, let me stop sharing here. When you are trying to, well, we'll get into that right now. How do you do light work? Okay. And I'm going to share this technique with you because I would argue that the Maharishi effect is absolutely 100% true because I have experienced it myself. However, what I would argue also is that it doesn't necessarily have to just be a transcendental meditation with the mantra. You can do a light work as well. And I do it regularly to transmute energy in homes, in areas. I mean, areas like, 40-acre farms. I've done work across the country on areas, farmland. I've done um, animals, humans, where you are just sending energy, love, light, peace into an area, and you begin to transmute that energy. However, like I was saying there, real quick to go again off topic, and I apologize. Sometimes I tend to do that. I just kind of things come up. But those threes were so, I don't know if you guys picked that up, but so important there. Um, However, light work. So you could do a transcendental meditation for sure, and it could have that effect, yes, but it doesn't only have to be that way. There isn't just one way to do light work. One of my favorite techniques is to literally visualize light going into that area, visualizing the light pushing out the density and sending love into that area. And I can tell you from experience that it is palpable within yourself. You can feel that energy. And I have free meditations out there right now where you send that energy into yourself. And I will tell you this, people, when you people feel that energy when you send it into yourself, when you send it into an area, you can truly begin to see the difference in how people feel it. And they don't even realize it. They don't even understand it. There's just an aura about either you or the area that is changed from the work that you do that is palpable. And people respond to that differently. I'll give you an example. There was one time I worked with uh um on a worked a horse farm. This veterinarian called me, said she was getting a lot of density, negativity, negative feelings on her property, and it was affecting people. So I went there on a number of occasions and began to do meditations, began to infuse the property with light. So I did sage it. I did put on high vibrational music that was recorded at certain megahertz, um, and then did my meditation to bring light. And after about, I want to say, I want, I want to say this was like a 20-acre farm. I believe, I could be wrong, could be 10 to 5. I apologize, I don't remember. But after about 3 weeks going there once a week and then doing work remotely on it several times throughout those like 3 weeks, the energy shifted and there was a greater peace that was being felt. There was a house that was on the property that wasn't being used. That property is where they felt the most negativity. And after the work was done, they reported back to me that people now went into the house and commented on how peaceful it felt. And I can tell you when I went there, I picked up on two spirits that were there, two human entities that were there that were definitely, it seemed like they were a little trapped. Um, but I guess I can't say with certainty. They were there, but there was density there. And I guess they were trapped because obviously if they were in heaven, it wouldn't be dense feeling. You would just feel that love that they have. However, after the 3 weeks, the energy completely shifted and people now went into the property and reported this is unknowing of the work that I did. We're now reporting back to her saying, oh, it feels so peaceful here and so calm. But that's how powerful your work is. And we cannot allow a moment to escape us. And what do I mean by that? If you're driving down a road and somebody cuts you off and you get mad and you start cursing at them or you, whatever it is in a low vibrational way, that is a moment where we need to rise above. We need to be bigger than that. Somebody cuts us in line and we get mad and we act in that lower vibrational frequency. We are not being our light worker self there. We, as light workers, you all we have to be disciplined in our work, in our desire to be of the light. And I know that is very difficult at times, very, with the amount of density that we feel in this world and that we are continuously subjected to. However, we are the light beings. We are the beings that light, heaven, is using to come through to help the people in need. And that definitely cannot escape us too frequently. We have got to maintain that perspective of the vessel the vessel that heaven is using to come through us to get to other people that are struggling with the density and those souls that are struggling to rise above it. You cannot be understated the importance at which you carry. And the Maharishi effect is something that is proof positive of the power at which you all hold. And with all the density that is coming out right now, your power is so much, so needed, so desperately needed. So continue to show that love, continue to feel the love, send it out there, rise above the density. Don't get sucked up in all of this and all of this negativity that is coming out right now and all the corruption and just all the not good things that are being shed, that are being illuminated right now. Don't get sucked up into it as far as absorbing the vibration. You are here to shed light upon that. And Martin Luther King Jr. said, and let me get the quote specifically. Martin Luther King Jr. emphasized that darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And that is 100% true. So sometimes when you are working to remove or transmute energy, energy is consciousness. So if you are going against a being, that being obviously doesn't want to be changed or transmuted. So, and sometimes we get mad at that. We cannot get mad or frustrated because that low vibrational entity wants that. That's what feeds it. And I know this again through experience and in all my work, helping people that are being subjected to low vibrational energies, either downstairs or even human souls that are trapped. They sometimes we feed that negativity with our own cursing, anger, frustration, sadness that it's even happening to us, when in reality, what we need to do is send love because that's what it doesn't want. But when you're working with energy, we have to understand that in order to change the energy, we need to send it the energy that we want it to have, that we want to be in that area. So we must therefore send love to it. And huge, hugely important when you are working to transmute energy like the Maharishi effect. You cannot sit there in a state of disgruntlement or frustration and think that that's going to help, or even sadness at all the corruption and hurt that has happened to all these people. It is unfortunate, absolutely, yes, and but when you work with energy, love is the dominating, most powerful energy in this world. And in order to transmute this and change it, we must send that love out into this world so that we can rise above and bring heaven to earth, because heaven is brought to earth through us. Through us. It is us that helps with your light body, is the vessel at which the heavenly realm is using to come down. So fill your light body, fill your physical body, send light and love out to this realm and allow the Maharishi effect to do its work so that we may transmute this world into that loving place that we all so want and desire. It's only done with love. As Martin Luther King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Absolutely words of profound wisdom that we must remember always. Be that light. We need you more than ever right now. So the Maharishi effect states that if we are doing either a transcendental meditation or another meditation on love and peace to send it out into our area, just 1%, we can begin to shift the energy of this world and do it regularly every day or even like 5 times a week. You do it now. He says to do it for two times a day for 20 minutes each time. Yes, you can do that for sure. I understand time is at a premium. Everyone's busy. I get it. I would argue that if you took one time 20 minutes a day, that that could be very effective as well. And the heavenly realm doesn't need too much from us in order to come down and begin to influence change in a positive way to help transmute all that energy so that we may all rise in consciousness, which is what we all want, our higher consciousness. We want that higher vibration on a soul level. And I will tell you this, that I was given a message prior years ago about how souls, like, they're not punished for what they are, but we have free will. And where you go after heaven, I'm sorry, after death of the physical is like if you made free will decisions to be with the guy down there, then okay, like God's not going to punish you for that. He's just going to say, okay, I accept your free will. You chose that. Okay, go there. I'll accept you, but you have to want it and you have to ask for it. So my thought there is to have these open communications with God and don't get wrapped up in how do you pray or like, do I have to pray a specific way or meditate in a certain way? Don't get wrapped up into all that. Understand that if you just go in there with the intention into a meditation, into yourself, with the intention of being light filled and sending light outwardly and opening it up inwardly, that will be achieved. And too often we get caught up in these nuances or these details that are unnecessary. Your intention is so important. And if your intention is to be love, to be light, and you send that out into the world, know that it will be sent. Know that they can work through that. Being the heavenly realm can work through that loving energy that you're sending out there. Don't ever underestimate how powerful you are and the love or powerful the love that you have within you is. So with that, I say thank you. It's good to be with you all again. And thank you for being here. With that, I will go ahead and record a channeling for you all. Let me just take a moment. My children of peace and love, Enoch speaking. We come to you now with a greater sense of gratitude for your attendance and diligent being in this spiritual podcast here. We are grateful. We tell you all, my children of the light, you all are, and we are grateful. But understanding that the density at which you feel is present upon this realm, we tell you mistaken not. Although this density is not for your greatest good, it is meant for and to teach lessons. The lesson is to overcome it, to be in spite of it, loving yourself. Loving yourself is very important, but we are saying love yourself as well as be a loving individual to others. But the correlation is important. We cannot love others if we are not loving ourselves fully. You must love who you are and be one with yourself in order to truly fill another's bucket of love and with love. Be the grace that you so wish to see in others and ensure that that grace is being spread through you. This will serve the heavenly realm and yourself very vibrantly and allow for work to be done on this earth as it should be. And we are grateful for that. There is great accuracy in understanding the importance at which you all carry, and to understand that this should not be and should always be remembered. You are beautiful souls listening to this podcast who are here for a divine purpose. That purpose is meant to be viewed on a soul level and moved with towards the light, towards the love, so that others may begin to directly feel and interact with the loving vibration that you have. If we may, use the analogy of are similar to a crystal. Others use crystals for their vibrational purposes. You, my children, are the crystal that others use to experience that loving vibration that they so wish to have. It is that vibration that is so vitally important, and we tell you now to carry it with you always. Be the high frequency vibration that others wish to see upon this realm. Be the spark of light that they need to see that love is possible in this realm. And we are grateful. So many of you are completing this task and at times don't even understand or realize the importance at which you are bringing to this realm at those moments. However, it is those moments that are so vitally important for us to interact with and through you. And we are grateful for that. We ask you all to go in great peace and love always, knowing that it is through you the heavenly realm operates. Your light bodies are crucial, and the intention alone will help immensely with allowing us forwardly through you. We are grateful for your presence and your understanding in these matters. We do ask you not to get wrapped up in density too often or much, as this is not or can be a detriment to your own vibration and not helpful. Be willing and ready to rise above the density at which you see upon this realm, knowing that it is your love that carries so much vibration and potential. It is through that we are capable of operating, and we are grateful. Thank you all so much, and take care. We ask you to call upon us always should you need, and encourage it highly even when you don't need assistance, but would like our presence with you in your life to help in moments and times of need and unneed. We are grateful always. Go in peace, Enoch speaking. Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you all so much. I do appreciate you being here. It's good to be with you all again, and hope to hear from you. Please don't hesitate to subscribe and like the video. Comment if you want. I appreciate it. But this video is intended for those light workers out there, and for you to understand the importance at which you hold in this realm. We are very grateful of the work that you do, and please don't underestimate its power. Thank you, and goodbye.